So, hello everybody. My name's Chris Bingham. I'm a solutions architect with Mirantis. So when we talk with enterprise IT about cloud, technical's glitch. We inevitably talk about pets and cattle and about how clouds are intended for systems comprised of large numbers of identical ephemeral resources, cows. And as the implications of ephemeral resources sink in, questions arise. If our system is built on top of cattle, and any cow can die at any time without warning, and never come back, how do we build a stable system? How do we make our systems highly available? I'd like to share with you the discussion points I've successfully used in the past when faced with such questions. The source of these questions is understandable. When we talk about ephemeral instances, it's easy to have a mental image of servers popping in and out of existence seemingly at random. And this breaks enterprise IT's mental models of IT systems inherited from the client-server and mainframe worlds. It conflicts with their experience of break-fix operations. How do you fix a server whose lifespan may only be measured in tens of minutes? All of this comes from one fundamental assumption of the classic IT world, that infrastructure is reliable, but failure is rare. That assumption that systems are fixed and unchanging once deployed is, however, a dangerous fallacy, because it leads us to describe stability in the wrong way. That assumption that systems don't change much once deployed is sometimes referred to as steady state, the model where we aim to keep the system in a fixed, predefined state until some indeterminate point in the future when we presume it will be upgraded. The steady state model is, for me, one of the defining characteristics of enterprise IT around the world. Most traditional enterprises design their entire IT organizations around this assumption, this fallacy. But why is this assumption wrong? Steady state fails because it stands in denial of what is perhaps the most fundamental force in the universe, change. The context in which our systems exist does not have a steady state. The market moves on, new opportunities and competition arise, needs and expectations evolve. All of this leads our customers to expect that systems will improve continuously over time. So if we compare and contrast these viewpoints of what stability is, in a technology sense, we've classically viewed stability as encompassing the whole stack, while our customers are only really interested in the stability of two of these components, the service and the data it contains. Now, when we represent the stack in this way, as a literal stack of components, each resting atop the other, our classical view appears logical. It feels like in order to provide a stable service, we need to make everything it rests atop stable as well. But is this true? Should changes to, say, the infrastructure affect the stability of the service? The largest piece of the puzzle is how we think about stability. We can rephrase this disconnect between the classic steady state view and our customers' expectations of an evolving service as the difference between a state and a process. Conventionally, enterprise IT tends to view stability as a state to be achieved at the end of a project. In extreme cases, this may be a one-time event. Whereas their customers' expectations of stability imply a view of stability as an unending and ongoing process. And in the land of the ephemeral cow, the customer is, as always, right. When working with cloud-native systems, stability cannot be achieved as a state nor an event. The design and function of many cloud platforms results in severe negative consequences for anyone going down this path. For example, at a previous job, I encountered a customer who took this stability as state view and deployed their entire business onto a public cloud in this manner, against our advice. A few weeks later, when one of their ephemeral instances died, they had no plan, no process, no resources in place to handle that eventuality. They lost all of their customers' data and faced serious consequences as a result. This is a cautionary tale for us all of the perils of lifting and shipping the classic IT world and the steady state approach into the cloud. It's been said that between 40 and 90% of the TCO of a classic enterprise application occurs after it is released. The technical and organizational patterns of cloud-native systems are about changing where that money is spent. If we map that spend to this maturity model, today many enterprises spend that money to achieve a state somewhere between chaos and proactive. They spend it firefighting and constantly fighting entropy, technical debt, and the invisible hand of the market in an unwinnable battle to hold a steady state. To succeed at cloud, those resources need to be focused on continuous improvement of services instead. Firstly, by changing how we think about and design our systems to abstract service and data availability away from dependencies on physical components, and crucially by utilizing processes that develop tight feedback loops between operational realities, business outcomes, and service evolution through automation. And with that, we can make our way up the maturity model to intuitively and rapidly react into the market. And with that, thank you very much for your time. I'll be around over there somewhere if you have any questions.